You're listening to the Johnny Monaco podcast.
It's not me, it's absolutely you.
That guy's an idiot.
I'm totally cutting him off.
It just doesn't make any sense. He didn't get one thing right. I mean, it's the title of the thing.
I gotta get out of here.
I liked her. I don't know what happened. Hello, everyone. Hey, 2017 almost over. Wow, 2018. And I don't know, this year has been, I see a lot of stuff on Facebook getting a lot, it's like on steroids lately. Everybody wants sympathy, pining for attention, and reluctant agreement. Virtue signaling. People thinking they're a lot better than they actually are. It's just mediocrity at its finest, and they're doubling down on it. Words of wisdom and life lessons from an idiot. We're all humans. We're all the same regardless of our choices. No one is better than each other. But I think they're doing that as a way to, justify their own things. People just can't accept that their choices equal where they are now in life, Otherwise, they'd have to realize that it's all their fault, and that would be devastating. So they use this do-gooder campaign as an almost bulletproof facade, right? By design, because you can't attack it, Yes, you and the bum on the street underneath that street lamp, the same people. And, on some molecular level, yeah, we're all humans, but the choices is what makes everyone different. I'm not saying you're better than the guy. Just, maybe you're doing a little better as far as you got a kitchen, and a toilet. We're not all equal in that respect. Nice people, they just seem to be real fake to me lately. Ulterior motives. It's not a selfless act. It's a selfish one. Put in place there for atonement, and spiritual cleansing. And I'm a hero. Well, if you're going to do something good for somebody, shouldn't it just be like a natural thing? If you're walking by and someone's on fire, you want to put them out. And if you do put them out, well, then you're a hero, for doing the right thing, what you should have done anyways. What, are you going to help them burn? Pour some gas on them? Nobody wants that. Nobody wants to kick a dog. Anybody who does stuff like that, they're crazy to begin with. You can't argue with those people. So it just seems like, they're pointing out the obvious and then taking their bow. I almost can't go on anymore. I feel stupid just being on there. And speaking of stupid, Donny V continues to pontificate on the Facebook with his grandioso, whirly posts, void of any punctuation or sense. And he went from someone who never had a Facebook page or even used any social media at all, actually shunned and mocked it, to now just another one of those crazies you see in your news feed, posting manic episodes and, wanting to be this sage of wisdom that you should ask your questions to, and he'll so graciously give you the answer. The wealth of knowledge that he is. It's almost like a stream of consciousness, which I'm generally okay with. But in this case, it's more of a God complex. And he's such an artist. Us mere mortals would never be able to comprehend the hell he lives in, being this conduit from otherworldly powers that he is. He possesses a gift. He was chosen. He blames his crazy rants on the coffee and being in recovery, but I can't help think it's just him because it's always been just him. And his posts are really not helping him at all. And these are actual posts. I'm not making any of this up. These are things he actually posted. He retracts a couple and then puts up other ones. But still, this is not like, me writing some jokes. And don't get me wrong, I don't want him to fail. I want to see him succeed. I'm not against him in any way. I think he writes great songs. I'm just reporting on what I'm seeing and maybe making light of it a little or a lot. Let's see here. I should just post a picture of my dick and balls. That's a good one. I say inappropriate shit and I say the N-word. I talk tons of shit. I've never been fucked with. I say what I want on here because I don't give a fuck. I talk about dicks and say the N-word every day and no Facebook jail. The power of nothing to lose. My favorite was seasoned greetings. Seasoned, spelled with that ED. And the only ones buying into this are either very troubled people themselves, or they're just being nice and they're kind of patronizing it. It's like picking on somebody with one arm, you know? And the rest are just watching the train wreck. They wake up every day and let's see what Ding Dong has to say today. Because there's a difference between speaking your mind, like, you know, John Lennon, someone like that would do, whom he admires, and acting out because you're not getting anywhere. You feel you deserve to be in life due to your own horrible choices and bad decision making. Or something happened or something didn't go your way. Maybe just realize that the situation you're in, so you lash out, stomp your feet like a horrible kid would do. It's embarrassing, and if anything, doing a disservice. Yeah. He's the type of person that because of his attitude and his actions, it's never going to be his year. He's a liability and hasn't learned a thing. And when I read his posts, I can't help but think I've seen this rhetoric before. This constant pining for attention and sympathy. Woe is me, always a victim, never his fault, glorifying all the lost pagan that he once was, but now has seen the light. Delusions of grandeur, visions of splendor. A manic depressive, he walks in the rain. That's a little rush there. Just so inherently better than the rest of us, and not through hard work and deduction. No. But God-given. A deity of sorts. Divine in status. He sees things that the rest of us couldn't possibly comprehend. You know, just don't ask him to go to the store for a loaf of bread and a Sudafed, because that won't end well, and he'll only be able to get one of those anyway. But why should it? This is a menial task and much below his greatness. So I'm reading all these crazy posts, and I know I've seen this before. I'm not saying it's 100%, or that for sure they're the same person, but I think it's a little odd that you never see these two in the same room together at the same time, or that one of them may or may not have faked their own death. But I think Donny V is Charles Manson. BJ in the morning. BJ in the morning. 94.1 AM, Chicago in the morning.
Cricket. Oh, we're back, everybody. Oh, it's cold out. It is freezing here in Blue Island. I'm freezing my chestnuts off, or as Donny V would put it, his dick and balls. Stop it. Come on, cut it out. So we got the great Donny V on the phone right now, and we're going to talk to him. He's going to take some calls, and we're going to see, what's been going on in his world. Donny, hey, good to hear from you.
It's good to be heard from.
So what's been happening? What's going on in the world of the great Donny V?
I got bit by a coon.
A raccoon. An animal, right? Because I've seen your post, and I don't want to confuse our audience.
I was feeding them. They come right up to me. People like me that are highly intelligent, we have a connection with the animals. They can sense we're connected, always getting fucked by the system. We're misunderstood. I'm sober. Have you ever tried to talk to a squirrel?
No, I can't say I have.
That's because, brother, me and you aren't the same. We're not the same at all. I never had a lesson I ever learned, but I know we all get our turn.
Well, I've seen Dr. Dolittle.
Man, that's a made-up story. And if I keep writing love songs the way I do, there ain't gonna be any of you left. The real artist has no need to prove it to the phonies. We're not in Wonderland anymore, Alice. I've been to hell and back. You want to ask me a question, Mr. White Man, Mr. Living Your Sheltered Life up on the hill? I'm thinking of starting a Dear Diary type thing. Dear Donny, alternative advice. When you don't know what the hell you should do, bring it on. I have the answers. Because if you're going to do something, do it well and leave them something witchy.
Blah. Witchy woman. Yeah, well, but how you feeling, Donny? Are you feeling good? Are you happy?
Well, some people like myself aren't capable of being truly happy. The people and things that turn me on aren't good for me. I'm like a feral cat. The best case being content to be loved and around happiness. I've learned to gauge my happiness and relevance to unhappiness. This beats the shit out of that. Also, I get a good feeling from making others happier, or at least not ruining their lives. So shoot for peace of mind. A life of unenthused content is better than an exciting life of despair. Man's got to stay in a circle.
Well, all that sounds fantastic. Good stuff. We're all excited to hear and to please you.
Everything I do is great. I shit and it's great. I took a shit the other day and it looked like Jesus. I shit out God. Not just anyone can come up with the stuff I do. You know, a long time ago, being crazy meant something. Nowadays, everybody's crazy. Everyone's got something to say. I wrote a Christmas song.
Christmas cheer is in the air and snow is all around. The jingle bells begin to play. Oh, and Santa Claus is on his sleigh. Oh, the loving hearts of bright-eyed children play. The kids and girls, he's on his way. Have a Merry Christmas Day.
Not anybody can just come up with what I come up with.
Well, Johnny, that's fantastic. You never seem to disappoint, my friend.
They won't let me play the whole thing, something to do with Spotify. And I'm too beautiful to be given away for free. If you don't think about something, then that thing never happened. You know, not just anyone can do what I do. And I do it to it. Look down at me and you see a fool. Look up at me and you see a god. Look straight at me and you see yourself. I can't judge any of you. I have no malice against you, no ribbons for you. But I think that it's high time that you all start looking at yourselves and judging the lie that you live in. I'm nobody. I'm a tramp. I'm a bum. I'm a hobo. I'm a boxcar and a jug of wine and a straight razor if you get too close to me. In my mind's eye, my thoughts light fires in your cities.
Ugh. Donnie, your voice sounded great on the recording. How do you manage to keep your voice in such good shape?
I use milk in the studio. I usually have a big glass of juice from the crock pot, a can of Coca-Cola, and a glass of milk, maybe some crackers. I just go back and forth. Mostly the roast juice or a real greasy chicken soup. Good to drink a lot of water earlier, but not during. Well, then again, that used to be a big half a bottle of Jack Daniels. I'm the real deal, brother. A big old line of the devil's dandruff and some cigarettes. You gotta realize you're the devil as much as you are God.
Okay, so milk in the studio for singing. I'm gonna keep that in mind. What's your advice for working with sound men?
Give that dude a 20 and a hand job, then ask him for all the delay and high end you can get away with. No sense makes sense. And if you can't do that, you can always suck a bag of dicks. You understand?
I don't, but I love hearing you talk. I feel like I'm in some kind of crazy alternate universe. Hey, how have you been doing, though, man? Have you been all right? Have you been living good? Any rock and roll stories from the road maybe you could talk about? You talk to Johnny Monaco at all?
Monaco? Monaco's a rumpkin. Monaco's a poop butt. Monaco's his mama's boy. Monaco's out there trying to prove something to his own manhood. That's got nothing to do with me. I don't roll around with poop like that. I stand with people that can stand with themselves.
Well, you sound well rested.
Total paranoia is just total awareness, you see. I was a dedicated pro-experimentalist. I can tell you in Sesame Street terms the wonders that await you with every individual substance. But I've been having really bad dreams lately. You think that means something, boss man?
Well, I'm not sure. I mean, yeah, I suppose at a subconscious level it could mean something. Let's go to the phones and ask some of the fans. I'll have them call in. We'll see if they can maybe shed some light on the subject.
Sanity is a small box. Insanity is everything. If you're bored and restless, you know you're doing the right thing.
All right, we got Juliana on the line. Juliana, say hello to Donny V.
Hello, sweet Donny! Sending warm hugs your way! I'm going to wrap Donny up in sweet hugs! He's a doll baby, so precious! Hot mess of a self he is! Love this topic today!
Well, okay, that's frightening. Juliana, do you have any advice you can give the Donny to help with these crazy dreams he's having?
Sometimes they are just the mind sleeping. It could be your past coming through as memories through your dreams. It could be God trying to give you signs or warnings or speaking to you. It can also just be evil controlling your mind. Wake to a new day, a new dawn, and love all around you. Live as you were to die tomorrow. Learn as you are to learn forever.
Okay.
I dream of horrid anal rape and sucking on the devil's cock while he fucks me.
Ho, guys, let's keep it clean. It's AM radio, for Christ's sake.
Donnie is so precious, he's learning all over again like an innocent child. He has the vision through a child's eyes. I could eat him up. I would let him insert his beautiful horn in my sugar walls.
Whoa, ho, guys. Oh, God, take another call, that crazy woman. She's kooky, that one. We got a doctor on the phone. Dr. Lorraine on the line. Doctor, you there?
Of course I am. But are you there?
Yeah, we're here. That's the point. What's your advice for the great Donny V?
You're cleansing, Donnie. You're cleansing, you're clearing, and you're rebuilding through synapse firing in the brain. You're rewiring, if you will, and learning, not unlike a computer or a grifter.
Good advice, Doc. Really good stuff there. Hey, Daddy, we got your brother Zump on the line.
When I stand on the mountain and I say do it, it gets done. And if it don't get done, then I'll move on it. And that's the last thing in the world you want me to do. Now put that jag off on.
Hey, little brother. Good to hear your tubes. And I say tubes because they sound real thin.
You got that clown get up you go around town wearing with that dog and pony show of a band singing all my tunes. Why don't you go write your own songs and stop wrecking what I did? When someone fucks with your vision and creation, it's like seeing your children being molested. I'm Jesus Christ, whether you want to accept it or not. I don't care.
Hey, I wrote those songs too.
Yeah, you wrote your name at the top. There is no way that you can know the taste of water unless you drink it, or unless it has rained on you, or unless you jump in the river.
That's not true, and you know it. I'm out here carrying the torch. I didn't ask for this responsibility brought upon me by the Lord Almighty, but I feel I owe it. Well, I owe it to all mankind to present these songs in the best possible way I can. And evidently, that means singing them. And virtue signaling through tweets and taking pictures of the crowds that are there to see the bands after us. I mean, it's all a big game, and I know how to play it. It's all smoke and some kind of house that reflects your own image.
You mean like a house of mirrors?
You said that. I don't say that.
You're a glorified cover band without me. And where's your boy Gilligan? Where's he now? He's an ugly little guy. I have 8 out of your garbage cans to stay out of jail. I have wore your secondhand clothes. I have done my best to get along in your world, and now you want to kill me? And I look at you, and then I say to myself, you want to kill me? Ha! I'm already dead. Have been all my life. I've spent 23 years in tombs that you built. The mind is endless. You put me in a dark, solitary cell, and to you, that's the end. To me, it's the beginning. It's the universe in there. There's a world in there, and I'm free. I don't want to take my time going to work. I got a motorcycle and a sleeping bag and 10 or 15 girls. What the hell I want to go off to work for? Work for what? Money? I got all the money in the world. I'm the king. I run the underworld, guy. I decide who does what and where they do it at. What, am I going to run around like some teeny bopper somewhere for someone else's money? I make the money, man. I roll the nickels. The game is mine. I deal the cards. Do you feel blame? Are you mad? Or do you feel like Wolf Cop Roth Vantage? Goob around boots pot pooch pooch jab jam ram ramage jig jag Google Bob ram to get left damage wiggle baggle. There goes my heart.
Well, I'm sorry you feel that way, little brother, but I didn't understand most of that. But we're on tour. I got 24 albums out. I will not be ignored. I'm a singer. I sing songs. Sing, song, sing, song, song, sing, sing, song, sing, song, sing, song, sing.
Okay, guys, we're going to have to wrap it up, but it's been a great show. I loved having you both on, and we're going to leave you with a little message here of celestial sounds for the whole world, because we've been invaded by aliens recently. It's been all over the news, and we're giving our souls over to our dark overlords. So here's a little happy Wednesday from us to you, and have a good week, everybody. Happy Wednesday. Have a peaceful day, everyone. Remember, it's not how much we have, but how much we enjoy that makes happiness. Live as if you were to die tomorrow. learn as if you were to live forever. Well, that was weird. Although I do feel a lot better about Wednesdays now for some reason. So Enough's Enough has been touring a lot, doing shows, playing their shows, checking in at airports.
Cheers.
And telling everyone how blessed they are.
Cheers. Cheers.
You know, I always liked the songs and the vibe, but it's gotten to the point now where, you know, Chip would rather just rest on his laurels, and, you know, it's become whatever this is he's doing today.
Cheers.
Something horrible and weird.
Please put your hands together for High Times Cannabis Cup Judge and fuck Madonna. Chip's Enough!
And I know maybe people have said that about me, or Donnie, you know, claims it to be a cover band, but, you know, that's just not true. It's a whole different thing. I'm okay if it has different members. Just make it really good, you know? You can post all your live shots you took in front of crowds that may or may not have been there, you know, to see you or one of the four bands after that mess.
Cheers.
It just seems like a jab to the craft and motion, you know, instead of progress. But it'll certainly get you to Hard Rock Hell in Wales and Norway and places like that. And I've been to these places, and it's really great seeing these places. I mean, don't get me wrong. I just didn't feel I was really getting anywhere, and in the end, I couldn't find a good reason to continue.
If I could save time in a bottle.
I mean, I see so many of these type bands thriving because of their mediocrity rather than in spite of it. And it started to feel less and less about the music and more about getting out of the house for a few weeks, you know, going to see these places. I just need to play at a higher level that's more about, I think, creating something on stage rather than, you know, fulfilling the time requirement, playing the same ones, really long versions, so I can, you know, get back on the bus and hear the same stories from 1989 over and over again. I need it to be desperately important, or I just don't feel like I can continue. And I like touring and seeing those places, but it was always bittersweet, and you just don't really accomplish anything. And I couldn't really enjoy it because his attitude would quickly change towards the end of the tour. And next thing you know, you're walking through an airport in Italy by yourself because no one waited for you to get off the plane because you were like way in the back. You come home with a little bit of money, no real lasting connection, and no forward progress. That's the main thing. I mean, but you certainly get to go to Europe once in a while, go take some pictures in front of castles, and you get to brag about it at Christmas when you're asked, so still with the music? They certainly will be impressed that you went there and that you know, still have all your hair. He's with the music. Couldn't sing you one of your songs. And for me, you know, it has to be the best it can be or not at all. And that's the only choice I can make.
He's goofy, creepy, liar, cheater, smells like He's Chips Enough.
Cheers.
A lot of people talking about their dicks lately. Chip talks about how big his dick is on stage and all the pot he smokes and cocaine. Standing there with his impaired fashion choices, he looks like he should be getting out of a small car with a horn and a flower that squirts water in your eye. It's painful. Chip did an interview recently and said,
Bro, I've smoked more pot than Pablo Escobar.
I don't even know where to start with that one, but it was posted on Blabbermouth's Facebook page, and the comments were the best part of the whole thing. Lots of gems in there. Dr. Roxo.
Dr. Roxo, the rock and roll clown. I do cocaine.
I mean, yeah, I was aware of the uncanny resemblance years ago, but I guess it's just starting to catch on. You know, it's almost like these interviewers are setting him up. I don't know. And I think a big part of the reason he wears those big goofy glasses and the hat is because he feels it's going to solidify a look that others will associate him with and then imitate with some sort of, you know, weirdo pride and reverence. Like somehow he invented this look. And now he feels he's a public figure, and you're going to be able to, you know, go to the Halloween store and ask for the one Chips Enough costume, please. I'm going to the ball. You know, the one that's hanging on the wall next to Batman or the Hot Cop. He's crazy. They don't even have a Gary Glitter one. Why are they going to have yours? And guys like that are always talking about how they're writing a book. I tell you the story, but I'm saving it for my book. You know, like they're so important. There's a lot going on in there. It takes a lot of drive and focus to write a book. He can barely rent a car. The whole thing just seems to be getting a lot closer to just taking pictures of the crowd. Another day at the office. I love my job. You know, lots of entitlement. Cover bands do that stuff all day, but with cover bands, they think the people are there to really see them. Like they have fans, you know, not the huge Def Leppard song they're hacking their way through, but they feel these are actual fans of theirs. And I could forgive it all if it just wasn't so horrible, and they are. And I'm never going to get on that, you know, do-gooder positivity train of compliments and, you know, coming home from a show at 2 a.m., going on Facebook and posting this epic thank you like the Beatles broke up, when the reality is it's just more virtue signaling and building a shrine to yourself. It's just not that good. But if you call someone out like that and say something like that, then, you know, the bleeding hearts will just say you're negative. You're negative. You're bitter. You should appreciate things. Oh, and that was a guy's voice, by the way. Just picture that with a scarf and a bunch of smeared eyeliner and messy girl hair. 10 pounds of shit stuffed in a 5-pound bag with some sexual innuendo tight-fitted t-shirt he thinks is so clever. Just picture that coming out of that. The problem I have with all of it is there's just no greatness happening on that stage. Because the bar has been so lower that even the below mediocre approach is accepted by the lowest common denominator these days. I'm sure you see the same stuff at your jobs. People like this don't change because although they will say they aren't okay with where they are, they want to change for the better. They want to make more and they don't take the steps to do those things because that would infringe on the delusion that they live in. You know, in order to avoid accepting the truth that it's all their own fault. The world is counting on people to be unaware so they can have their way with you. And I know a lot of people won't be happy hearing that and calling me a jerk or flip it back, but it's just what I've been seeing a lot of lately. Facebook has become everyone's personal diary for everyone's mundane day, and they have no problem telling everybody. When I was growing up playing guitar, I used to practice in my room to warm up before I went to Guitar Center to try out the guitars because I don't want to be embarrassed. Now, there's young girls posting all this stuff. It's ridiculously horrible, like beginner level shit. But they look good and their angles are right and they got a skirt on or something. Hey guys, catch me. And you know, this implies that you have fans and that you're not just posting for your own virtue or worse, clickbait. No, we're not talking about seasoned pros who have been putting in their 10,000 hours. You know, we're talking about someone who might be playing slightly above a beginner's level, but because they're a young girl, maybe hot, you know, maybe says all the right stuff, you know, got the lighting right, then ends up getting hundreds of likes, but it's really a golf clap. You know, they want to be treated as equals, but they're not equal. They're not at that level yet. And usually some people never get to that level, but they don't respect that they feel that they deserve more. They deserve more, even if they don't. They want this acceptance, but they're not playing by the rules. They have no discipline and only shades of ability here and there. But if you don't give them praise, you're just a jerk. You're a hater. Haters make me famous. And then they post some cryptic message or FML, you know, with a nicely lit photo you could tell they picked out from a bunch. You know, little photo shoot on their depression. I can't help but think that that was the exact moment when they realized that they don't have any material. I don't know anything about anything, and I think I need a car, a cat, and maybe a dog and a lizard. You know, that solemn look down, kind of somber look with the hair to one side, holding the guitar. This is my life. I don't know what key I'm in, but this is my life. Ugh. I mean, I'm great with someone who it's their life and they've practiced and they've studied and they do it every day and it's hardcore and they wake up and that's all they do. I used to do that. But don't be telling me this is all you live for and the only place you're comfortable is on that stage when you're not really that. You're crazy. It's disrespectful. I think. I don't know. I mean, I think they just need to learn some humility, you know, key signatures and maybe playing over an A. What else you going to do besides that box-shaped pentatonic thing? What else? What do you got there? We got some fourths. We got some diminished. What do you got there? Huh? I don't really know that stuff. I kind of play by feel. I don't want to wreck my natural playing, so I just kind of go wherever. Go wherever. Just played yourself right out of key. Okay, that's enough of that. They're kids. Leave them alone. What am I talking about? I actually watched a good video about incompetent people thinking they're amazing. This guy, David Dunning. Good video. Kind of summed it up. I always thought they were doing it on purpose, and now I learn they just don't know any better. Who'd thunk it? I'll put the link down there so you can see that if you want to check that out. It's pretty cool. A new thing I've been really bothered by is when people order in line or I'm at a restaurant and them go, I'm going to do, and that's the problem with a lot of people lately. Why don't you just do the thing you're going to do and not have to tell people that you're going to do it? We know you're in the process of doing something. Just point to number 6 and order it, jagoff. Everybody's always talking about how they're going to do it or what they're going to do. And half the time, they don't even do the thing they're talking about doing. But they're certainly going to tell you about how they're going to do it. I hate to say this, but a lot of times, ideas are nothing. Anyone can come up with an idea. That was my idea. I'm sure there's other guys that have thought about it too, but to bring it to fruition is a different thing. That's where all the hard work is. The big idea makers mock or try to micromanage someone else into doing it for them. I'm going to do... Shut up. Just order your croissant, fatso. Get your coffee. It's the same as yesterday. Go drink your coffee and eat your croissant in your car. Wait a minute, I do that. Okay, speaking of croissants and coffee, every time I sit down at a table in Starbucks, it always looks like a family of possums were just there. The seat's still warm from the last person sitting in it, and they never wipe it down with Lysol or anything. So I always feel like their ass juice is somehow leaking through my pants into my own ass. Like osmosis. So I'm at Starbucks sitting closely in between these two. The one guy I've seen a few times reading about his church. I think he's a pastor, dresses exactly like a pastor would or a murderer. And he has the biggest mouth. I can hear him on his phone all the way across the fucking room with, evidently to him is the sea. And he's just so much better than the rest of us, on his arc. Talking so loud. Like I can hear every detail of the conversation. And then he's saying it, I'm Googling it, checking these people's names and, what he's talking about. I'm figuring the whole thing out. And then there's a guy sitting across from me, a real go-getter type, real short hair. He's got one suit. Kind of procrastinating the whole time. Just kept setting stuff up and plugging things in. And the other guy on my right, who looks like he'd been in the game for years, unshaven, kind of disheveled suit with his shirt hanging out the back. Almost looked like a hobo costume. Now he's going to get down to business and drum up some sales. The main difference between me and the pastor is that I don't believe that people are inherently good. Because I'm a realist. And they're all out of ideas, so they believe there's more. And, good for you. You want to believe there's more. And the guy sitting to my right was even louder. And I seen some old Bible-looking thing, from Egypt, sitting on the table with him. He used a lot of words like, by God's grace. Because I could hear him talking, too. It's being in a mental institution. I mean, he might have been doing it on purpose, though, because early he might have seen me mumble, the earth isn't 6,000 years old. And I think he saw me filming the other guy. So he's probably going to tell him, because they're both believing parting the sea isn't just a parlor trick. In a weird twist, all this religion, he supposedly stands for in this conversation quickly turned to money. And he was on the fence about taking this job. But if they were going to offer him a lot more money, then he would. And we're talking about lots of money here. It wasn't just like 20 or 30 grand. It was like over $100,000. Real Christian of him. You'd think as a pastor, God would have given him the ability of common, decency and awareness of others. And maybe an inside voice, like we teach 6-year-olds. Oh, and also, no one's been returning his calls for the jobs he's been applying for. I overheard that part. That's just because he hasn't considered Home Depot, which I believe would fit him perfectly. I mean, Jesus was a carpenter, and neither one of them can tell you what's in aisle 4. And then the very next day, I go back in, almost in the exact same spot. And there's 2 different wackos that I've seen in there before, decoding their lives in the ministry, having this convo, ended in a prayer. It's like breastfeeding. Just do that somewhere else. And the weirdest part was immediately after the prayer was over, it went right back to their normal chit-chat. You know, between that and the Chuck Berry they were playing, I was shocked I didn't break out into flames. I mean, I don't have a relationship with God like that. My relationships are usually more human and carnal in nature. So, but just going there, I'm sitting there. It's kind of like being on Facebook, but in real life. I can't take it anymore. Have you heard young girls at tables talk to each other when they do that laughing thing till they're out of breath? I know. When I do this, at first I take it, and then he called me. I was like, and then he called me again. I was like, I'm like, just on Snapchat. I'm like, no. He's like, it's funny because I don't even go on Facebook anymore. No, it's my mom's like on Facebook. I'm like, no. Ugh, it's painful. And they're not even talking about anything really. You know, I don't want to listen. I'm forced to. I don't want to wear headphones all the time or listen to something. I want to just sit there and work on the things I'm doing and then get up and leave. You know, I'm not there for 5 hours. I can't even go in anymore. And then if I'm forced to look up at them, they're looking at me. They're laughing. They're laughing at me. And, you know, it's like I'm Aqualung over there. Ugh. I don't even smile back at them. I'm just look up. Idiots. You know, it might be my hair. I don't know what's going on. So I returned something that I got at Amazon at Kohl's. You can do this return at Kohl's Amazon thing. You know, I walk in there and it's right to the right. It's all lit up. I walked right by it. They had to send me back there after I was waiting in line in the back of the store with the other idiots. These people, man. Oh. So I bring it over to her. I'm like, oh, I need to return this.
Okay.
And I hand it to her, and she starts doing some stuff, gives me a receipt, and I'm just staying there the whole time. You know, she didn't look up at me really. She's taping this bag together. She puts it in a bag, and then she's folding the bag and trying to tape it all up. You know, it looked like a 6-year-old did it. And not one of those fancy Asian 6-year-old kids. A real fat American 6-year-old, you know, with bubble gum all over his face, playing Xbox and whining. That one. She almost taped her head to the package. And then I stood there the whole time thinking, you know, she was going to run my credit card for the refund or something until I asked her, are we done here? And she's like,
Yeah, you can go.
Thanks for letting me. I mean, I'm just... maybe it's me. It's possible. I mean, there wasn't like an end to the transaction. I mean, what's wrong with these kids? They don't know how to interact or talk to people. In her defense, I happened to look up in a mirror in the store when I was walking around. And I realized my shoes and my shirt matched. You know, blue shoes and a blue shirt. So looked real strange. So maybe she might have thought I just escaped from a mental hospital or I was some kind of uniform and was just there for some other reason. I didn't grope her, you know, didn't do any of that. No one groped anybody. You know, all these politicians are doing is wrecking groping for the rest of us. I mean, I generally won't grope without consent, so it's kind of a wash for me. Because, you know, no one wants to be groped by those kind of guys anyways.
I'll grope you.
Take it easy, Zump. Nobody wants to get groped by you.
I'll grope, and I'll grope your house down.
Kids don't even know what the word grope means. They probably had to look it up on Wikipedia.
Grope.
Because they got their own words now. I wasn't aware of a lot of these. Some of them I knew. I got a list. Fam, person, group of friends, fam. Lit, uses to describe someone that is hot and happening. Similar to cool. Lit. Turnt. Oh, no one says that around my house, but turnt, that's something. Goals. This one is super easy. That's just means goals. See, like they think they invented a word. It's been around forever. Goals. There might not be reaching them, but that's a word. AF. That one's a little weird. I didn't know that one, but now that I know it, I still sounds stupid when I say it, but you know what it means. Clap back, thirsty, shade, savage, squad, fire. They're words. They're just giving them new meanings. My squad, got my squad. It's like fam. I don't have a squad. I need a squad. Fire. That one's good. Hot. It describes hot. No shit. Beyonce's new song is straight fire, yo. Salty. Why you gotta be so salty? Okay, salty. Woke. V. Just the letter V. It means very. They can't even say the word anymore. They're like hipsters. Real lazy. V. High key. Someone saying high key is saying it in a way that makes it clear you don't care that everyone knows. Bold. That's like on Facebook. Everyone's high key. Low key. The opposite of high key. Thought. That's a good one. Is it thought? It's thought. Thought. It's like saying ho. It's close too. I've seen her with a different guy every week. She's a thoat. I don't know why I said it like that, but that's the word. Sus. Short for suspicious or suspect. See, for me, I would think that would mean the fourth of a chord. But, very suspicious, that one. Scandalous. LBFB. Like back and follow back. Get a lot of YouTubers probably using that one. I should just talk like this in real life to people and see if they can follow. Because I don't even know these words, and I don't think a lot of people do. I'm sure the kids do. But in normal context, people don't talk to me like this. Hondo P. 100%, yo. Hondo P. And 100% are used to describe something that's really awesome. This is a Hondo P. I like that one. So I'm going to start using new words. I really think up the wazoo should make a comeback. That's kind of a cool term. The kids should all be using that one. Hey, up the wazoo. I can't stop watching Forensic Files, and I like that music in the beginning they play. It's almost like a Pavlov thing going now. And I know that they say there's no such thing as the perfect crime and that you either leave or take evidence with you. But I really want to believe I can do better, than a lot of these numbskulls. I mean, the Apple Dumpling Gang was more sophisticated than a lot of these idiots. I just get mad when little kids are involved and they end up killing older people or something like that. It almost makes me want to rewatch all those Charles Bronson movies, Taxi Driver, that kind of stuff. I don't like that. Signing up for healthcare is like ordering a KFC. Ironically, going to KFC is why you need healthcare. But you got to take, is this one better than this? This has got this, but it's got to lower this. This one's over here, but it's got more of this. I probably wouldn't use this as much, but this is really good, but this isn't. Do I get the bucket? Do I get the individual? Do I get the 3-piece? Does this come with this? Is there coleslaw? It's the same thing. And I had to go for an MRI, and I got to go for another one because my hip is killing me and there's something going on, and I freak out in those things. I really freaked out last time. I'm not even claustrophobic, I didn't think. I wasn't there. Probably not a good thing to drink a bunch of coffee before you go into that one. So next time, I'm going to go to bed early and prepare. I might practice in my room for being in it. I'll put a cardboard box around me, see if I could, how long I can stay in there for. I was looking for a girl bass player a while ago. Couldn't find the one I wanted. The one I wanted lives in New York City. She's in a band called Uni. Her name is Charlotte Kemp Mall, and she's beautiful, and I love her. Really good bass player. Real smart, too. She's a model. The Sean Lennon's girlfriend. They have a band together called Ghost of the Saber-Toothed Tiger. She comes up with great songs and riffs. It's awesome. I can't compete with that guy. He's John Lennon's son. But boy, she is something else. Sings great, plays the accordion great, looks great. She's got good fashion sense. I can't say enough good things about her. So, going to be really interesting to see some new stuff that they're putting out. So go check out their band Uni from New York City, where all the cool people are. And the other one I thought would be really cool to be in a band with. She won't talk to me anymore. She's here in Chicago. You might remember her from the dog episode which, by the way, she's still mad at me for, and I apologized over and over again, and she just doesn't, I don't know. I really liked her too. They're kind of similar, the two of them. I don't know why, they just kind of are. But it's very specific to stuff I like, and I don't take it lightly. There's some connecting thread there. Both play the bass and keyboards and sing and are great. Neither one of them smile too much, and I've grown to love that, you know. If they don't want to smile, they don't have to smile. Don't tell them to smile. Maybe they don't feel like it. Leave them alone. So since I couldn't find the perfect girl bass player I wanted, I decided just to build one in the garage. I got it on eBay. Just putting the parts together now. I'll tell you about it later, but you gotta love technology. And lastly, one of my new favorite movies on Netflix is a show called Haters Back Off with Colleen Ballinger. She's great. It's just a great show. It's funny. Season 2 just started. I'm a little late to the party. I'm probably not the target audience, but I came across it, and she's got her own one-woman show. She tours. She was a Disney kid, and now she's got her own thing, and she's really funny. And she just seems like a real good person. Like, I know I make fun of people a lot, and I say I don't think they really mean what they say and who they are. But this one, she really seems like she means it. She's always doing good things, too. And, you know, raising money for charities and always with the kids and going to the hospital to see the kids. The kids love her. And she's really funny. And she writes every day. She's constantly putting out material. She's got a huge YouTube channel. Really good. So I don't really make recommendations a lot. That's, you know, it's ridiculous. But that's a show that I think you might like. I guess you'll either like it or you won't. I think it's really great. So check out Haters Back Off on Netflix. Okay, everybody. So this year, 2017, has come to a close. Thanks for listening, and I hope that you like some of this stuff, and I'll try to put out some more, and hopefully you'll listen. I'm working on some new material. I got some new short film ideas I'm working on, and I have some new music, and I'm putting a new band together and a new cover band here in the city, which I'm hoping is going to be really cool and a little different. So I am just going to try my hardest to get more motivated, because I've been running out of motivation lately, and maybe I'm just low on vitamin D. I don't know, but I know I need something. So good talk. Hopefully I'll talk to you in 2018. Have a great Christmas and a fabulous New Year, and I'll talk to you real soon. Bye.
Sometimes the wind moves combined with the seas in a way that twitches on, can't get the place where the spirit was slain.
Hey, one foot leads to another. Nights full of sleep, blue curtains, covers, sequins in the eyes. That's a fine time to dine. Divine who's circling, feeding the cause to the midwives who love those alien days, the non-stop alien days. Ooh, the alien days. Must have skipped the ship and joined the team for a ride. A couple hours to learn the controls and commandeer both my eyes. Be quick, dear, times are uncertain. 1 month crawling, next year blurring, decades in the drain. Those days taught me everything.